jury selection beginning today. Newt Gingrich, thank you. All right, joining us now, Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer, Florida Congressman Michael Waltz is with us. Congressman, maybe Newt is right. Maybe this is the Jeane Kirkpatrick Hate America First crowd. Maybe it's what I tend to believe, that this is purely a political motivation. That the Biden folks have had a literal freak out after they saw the Democratic primary vote come out of places like Michigan. Maybe it's a combination. What do you say?
Sean, I think it's both can be true. You have a progressive left that believes at its core America is not a force for good. In fact, America is inherently and at its founding racist, paternalistic, misogynist, and colonialist. So you couple that with a political agenda when you have over 100,000 people in the dead of the Michigan winter, 100,000 Democrats that go after work, despite all of that, to make a point to vote against you. You couple those two together, underscored with an appeasement-first approach, which they've reworded now as de-escalation, but every time they say that, they back away further and our enemies take another step forward. You contrast all of that, Sean, with just a few years ago when President Trump was the first president, the only president in modern American history that left the Middle East better off than how he found it. And now they're determined to do everything opposite of what he did. You have a witch's brew and you have a world in chaos.
Yeah. Ari, look at the admonition of Michael Moore warning Biden, Israel's support will make him Hillary 2.0. That's what's going to happen to you. But to me, I look at the big picture here, and I see these protesters. You think back to the summer of 2020 and all the violence that took place then. And what are we really watching? What are we really witnessing here? We are witnessing the squad is now the mainstream radicalized Democratic Party. We lost Joe Lieberman recently. Joe Lieberman would not be a part of this movement. I mean, he was their 2000 vice presidential candidate of the Democratic Party. Then he became too conservative for that party. Now we've evolved into the AOC squad party led by Joe Biden, buying into all of it. What's your take?
Well, number one, Sean, I would never call these people protesters. They are disruptors. Protesters want their voice to be heard. These people take action to block intersections, to stop people from catching flights, to interfere with ambulances taking people where they need to go. These people are disrupting the American way of life. And Newt is right. If any of them are not Americans, if they are here on a tourist visa, a college visit visa, student visa, every single one of them should be deported. You cannot burn the American flag. You cannot say death to America and expect to be welcomed in this country. Deport them all. They should have been deported on October 8th, because that's when most of them took to the streets to support Hamas. As for President Biden, Sean, I just think this is a continuation of his flawed judgment. He's always had flawed judgment, especially when it comes to foreign policy. He was against the first successful Gulf War that got Iraq out of Kuwait. He was for the second Gulf War, which didn't turn to be a success. He was against the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. His judgment has been flawed from the time he was a senator to the time he's a president. And now he's trying to have it both ways in Gaza. And he's urging restraint on Israel. Could you imagine if all those drones and cruise missiles were fired at the United States and we shot them down? Do you think the American people would say to Joe Biden, take the win? That's not a win. We escaped. We narrowly escaped people who were trying to kill us all. No, Israel is going to have to go after Iran one of these days. And when they do, I sure hope the United States, whoever is our president, will support everything Israel is doing.
This president will not. I do have a message for Israel and the Prime Minister Netanyahu. Go win your war against terrorism, and go protect your very country's survival. And if Joe Biden says don't listen. Thank you both. Appreciate you being with us. When we come back,